Hello. Okay. I need to go back to my first part video so that I know exactly where to start with this one. But I'm going to just start here. So, when I was 14 years old, I met a man on a 1-900 chat line that used to be a thing in the late 80s, early 90s. You were supposed to be 18, but all you had to do was say that you were. He was in his mid-20s. I was alone all the time. My mom worked 11 at night to 7 in the morning as a licensed practical nurse in the nursing home. Okay. So after a couple of months, he had convinced me to steal some money from my mom, take a cab, go to the Greyhound bus station, and meet him in Columbia, South Carolina. So I did that one night, middle of the night. I did that. And in January 1990, nobody asked for ID. Nobody cared that I was a kid, literally running away in the middle of the night. Met the guy in Columbia. I got on the bus in Florence, South Carolina, went to Columbia, met him there. And together we hopped on a Greyhound and spent 3 days on the bus all the way out to Los Angeles, California. I slept under a bridge out there with this guy. We would get fed little sandwiches and Kool-Aid from Covenant House. I believe we basically just walked around Hollywood. I just was really excited to be there. I wanted to go there. Quickly, the dream of running away turned into a nightmare. I'm sharing all this with you without a script. This is off the cuff, based just on my memories. For the first couple of days, it wasn't that bad. Although I knew he was stealing wallets and credit cards to pay for motels. There is one scene in Pretty Woman where you can see a motel called the Hollywood Downtowner Motel. We stayed there one night. He didn't really do anything that night. We took a little side trip. It was several hours of driving up to San Francisco. And I can distinctly remember looking out the window and seeing the Golden Gate Bridge. That is the night that stays with me all the time. That is the night that a decision was made on his behalf that changed me forever. That was an action that I had no say in. I had no choice. Any decision in the matter was taken away from me. And it wasn't the last time in those few weeks that I was out there. We get back to Hollywood, and by then I'm traumatized. I don't really know how to react, but I had to pretend like I was okay. I didn't know anybody there. We were literally on the streets. I had no freaking idea what I was doing. We would sleep under some columns. There's like a bridge that goes over an interstate, and there's like people under there, and they're making these little rooms with sheets, like divided little compartments under this bridge. Okay. Slept under there. I remember one night, it was like, I don't know, I'd say 2, 3 in the morning. Climbed myself up on the street, walking by myself. Literally on Hollywood Boulevard at 3 a.m. by myself. I look back on some things in my life and I don't know how I'm still here. I really don't. I'm haunted by that night in San Francisco. I'm haunted by the nights that came after that. But for some reason, I am still here. I want people to please pay attention to what your children are doing. Listen to them. Look for any changes. My mother never even reported me missing. I'm her only child, and she never reported me missing. Yeah. Don't take your kids for granted. It is only by the grace of God that I was able to come home. And let me tell you what else this man did. She did send me a bus ticket. He stole it. He took my bus back to my house, slept in my bed. My mom believed every word that came out of his mouth. He told her the most horrendous things about me, none of which were true. Not one. That I was prostituting myself, that I was hooked on drugs now, that just stuff that was not true. And knowing that he slept in my bed, he was in the home that I came from, it got so bad that I convinced my mom I was never coming home unless they can guarantee he wouldn't be there. Her preacher ended up paying him off to get him to leave town so that I could come home. Covenant House bought me a plane ticket home. My life took a completely off the walls trajectory after that experience, as a lot of people's would. I was always a good girl. I always intended to be a virgin when I got married, and traditional dreams that a lot of young girls have. A lot of little girls grow up playing with their baby dolls and imagining their life someday as a wife and mom. But after that, I felt dirty and gross, used. It didn't matter that it was a crime that happened to me. It didn't matter. I even reported said crime to the Los Angeles Police Department, and I kept that report for so long that piece of paper moved everywhere I went. And I would look at it, and I realized they wrote it down not as rape or even statutory rape, just unlawful sex. 26-year-old man, 14-year-old child, unlawful sex. But of course, they had better things to investigate in Hollywood, California in January of 1990. I came home with a piece of me missing. I would go on to look for that piece in other people. A lot of drinking. Drank a lot. Yeah. I found a man much later, in my late 20s, who came from a pretty rough background too. And I leaned into that. It was really hard to trust it at first. I would go see him, then I'd rush home, and then I'd go see him, then I'd run back home. But eventually, we had our first child together, and we got married when that child was 10 months old. On August 25th of 2004. So if you're doing the math and watching this on August 7th, our 19th wedding anniversary is coming up real soon. And he's been my rock for over 20 years now. So I thank God every day for helping me mend that spot in me, helping me realize that I do have worth as a person, and that creature, that monster who groomed me and stole what wasn't his from me, he couldn't steal that. That I still had value as a wife, as a mom, as a human. So that's just a quick synopsis of what happened. I would go on to get pregnant at 16 from one night. One stupid decision while I was drunk. I got pregnant. Yeah. I had that child at 17. He was now 30. My husband legally adopted him when we got married and when he was 11. Despite that, no matter what you go through, no matter what experiences you have intrinsic value as a human. Don't let your abuser, don't let your trauma. Don't let your difficulties and trials and even your errors define who you are, because you can come back from that. You can. And I will dig more into what I see happening in society and how it is affecting our children every day, that they wake up in this madness. It is stealing a little piece of them. We should be protecting our children's innocence no matter what. This ideology, this crap that is happening everywhere you look. This is not right. It is not okay. Protect your rights as a parent and protect your children, no matter what they try to tell you. Because it is your right and your responsibility as a parent to do everything in your power to protect your kids. Save their innocence. Let them keep that precious naivete for as long as humanly possible. Okay. I'll be back soon, once a week. This is just the start. Peace.